Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. If you're deeply invested in the pharmacy world, you already know this isn't just your average midterm. This is the Graduate Pharmacy Aptitude Test. We're talking about a massive, nationwide gateway that over 50,000 students go up against every single year. So today, we are going to cover absolutely all about the GPAT exam. We're breaking down the dense official bulletins, the strict guidelines, and the real-world strategies into one clear, actionable playbook so you can conquer GPAT 2026.
So, if you're an undergrad pharmacy student and you got your sights set on a premier research institute like NBEMS or one of those highly sought-after M.Pharm programs, you've probably been wondering how to actually make that dream a reality. Let's be real, the competition out there is absolutely fierce, and just coasting on your graduation scores simply won't cut it anymore. The GPAT is essentially the golden ticket that separates the top-tier candidates from everyone else. But honestly, it offers something way more immediate than just an acceptance letter.
The ultimate prize here is a guaranteed monthly stipend of 12,400 rupees to help fund your higher education. That is not just pocket change. That's a massive financial relief, and it's all unlocked by successfully navigating this one exam. But, and this is a big but, securing that funding means you really need to understand exactly how this entire system works, from the exam pattern itself all the way down to the fine print of the scholarship rules.
To demystify the whole process, we're going to hit 6 key areas today: the organizing bodies, eligibility and timelines, the exam pattern, scoring and qualifying criteria, the AICTE scholarship rules, and finally, smart preparation strategies.
Okay, Section 1, the organizing bodies. Let's look at who actually runs the show.
Following a major Supreme Court judgment, the landscape of who runs this exam completely shifted. Now, there's a formal memorandum of understanding between 2 major players. The GPAT is no longer run by just one singular entity from start to finish, which is a really important distinction to understand.
So, you really need to understand this division of labor. First, you've got the National Board of Examinations in Medical Sciences, or NBEMS. They conduct the computer-based test and they calculate your score. That's literally their only job. Once the results are out, their role is totally done. Then, the Pharmacy Council of India, or PCI, takes the wheel. They're the ones who handle your counseling, verify your documents, manage the actual admission into your M.Pharm program, and most importantly, they hand out the scholarship money. Basically, think of it like this. You deal with NBEMS on game day and PCI for the prize money.
Moving on to Section 2, eligibility and timelines. Who gets to play and when?
To qualify, you've got to be an Indian citizen with a 4-year bachelor's degree in pharmacy. But here is a massive strategic advantage. You don't actually have to wait until graduation. Students in their final 4th year and even their pre-final 3rd year are entirely eligible to take this exam, as long as your final results come out before the actual admission starts. One strict rule to note, though. If you're a B.Tech student in pharmaceutical and fine chemical technology, you unfortunately have to sit this one out. The GPAT is exclusively for B.Pharm students.
Mark your calendars, because this is your runway. The GPAT 2026 is a single-day, single-session online exam happening on March 7th, 2026. Then, you'll have exactly 1 month of holding your breath before results drop on April 7th. And the absolute best part? Once you crush it and get a winning score, that acts as your golden ticket for admission into M.Pharm and PhD programs for 3 full years.
All right, Section 3, the exam pattern. Let's talk about the structure and the subjects.
You're going to face 125 multiple-choice questions. But here is the secret. Not all subjects are weighted equally. The questions are heavily skewed toward pharmaceutics and pharmaceutical chemistry, bringing in 38 questions each. Pharmacology is right behind them with 28. So if you're wondering where to put your energy for the best return on investment, there's your answer. Pharmacognosy and the other allied subjects just make up the remaining, much smaller slice of the pie.
Now, this 3-hour exam is not just some casual free-for-all. It is strictly sectioned off. Those 125 questions are broken down into 5 distinct sections, A through E, with 25 questions in each. And here is a super critical mechanical detail you have to remember. You get exactly 36 minutes per section. That means you've got to master your pacing. You can't just camp out on Section A for an hour, because the system will literally lock you out when time's up. You must knock out those 25 questions within their 36-minute window.
Which brings us to Section 4, scoring and qualifying criteria. How do you actually pass this thing?
Accuracy is absolutely everything here. Every correct answer gets you 4 marks, building up to a maximum possible score of 500. But watch out, because there is a brutal 25% negative marking penalty. You lose 1 full mark for every single incorrect answer. They built it this way specifically to penalize wild guessing. That being said, you lose 0 marks for questions you just leave blank. So skipping a question that you're totally unsure about, that's actually a highly valid and often totally necessary strategic move.
And here is the real mathematical hurdle of the GPAT. Passing isn't just about hitting some arbitrary raw score, it's a dual criteria system. First, you have to hit a minimum qualifying percentile. That's the 50th percentile for general and EWS, and the 45th percentile for OBC, SC, ST, and PWB. But wait, that's just step 1. The second, much tougher requirement is that mathematically you must fall into the elite top 10% of all test takers nationwide on the overall merit list. You literally have to beat 90% of the room.
Next up, Section 5, the AI-CTE Scholarship, the ultimate reward.
Now, the official AICTE postgraduate grant scheme guidelines are incredibly strict. Make no mistake, this isn't just free money falling from the sky. The authorities aren't handing out that monthly stipend without expecting some serious sweat equity in return.
Let's look at these non-negotiable rules. First, you must have your valid GPAT score prior to the exact date of your admission. If you somehow qualify after you've already enrolled, you get nothing. Second, no double dipping. You cannot receive any other salary or financial aid at the same time. Third, you're essentially taking on a part-time job for the institute. It's totally obligatory to put in 8 to 10 hours a week doing teaching, lab maintenance, or research assistance. Your time off is strictly capped at 15 casual days and 30 medical days a year. And crucially, if you leave the M.Pharm course midway, you are legally bound to refund the entire amount of the scholarship you've taken up to that point.
Finally, Section 6, Smart Preparation Strategies. How do you train to win?
According to top educators, you need a solid runway of 6 to 8 months of dedicated prep. You simply cannot cram for a test like this. You need to bury your head in the absolute gold standard reference books. We're talking Katie Tripathi for pharmacology and Lockman and Remington for pharmaceutics. And because of those strict 36-minute section windows we talked about, taking full-length mock tests under real exam conditions is absolutely critical. But listen, don't just solve them and move on. Analyze them. Figure out exactly why you got a question wrong so you can avoid that nasty negative marking penalty on the big day. Lastly, while you need to focus, don't isolate yourself completely. Jump into study communities on Telegram or WhatsApp to keep your motivation high and get your questions answered quickly.
So you know the stakes now. You understand those strict section timings, you see the dual qualifying criteria, and you know exactly what prize is waiting for you on the other side. The GPAT 2026 is definitely a mountain, but it is 100% climbable with the right strategy. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. What exact step are you going to take today to optimize your preparation and secure your future in pharmacy? The clock is ticking, so start planning now and go claim that top-tier seat.